Well, you close out this chapter with your flexible fantasy. And I'd like to take just a few moments and again do this plug that you need to write a journal, Tom. How many times do you reference a journal in this book? It's amazing to me. So in our non Tom Murray journal, we write out our flexible fantasy, and you give some really good kind of prompts. Really, you kind of get people thinking about that, and and you close the chapter with your flexible fantasy. I know that I've been asking you 1,000 questions today, but do you mind just kind of giving us an overview of that flexible fantasy and what's okay to write, what's not? Do you write it? Or you just kind of, could you just do an audio of it? Or is it, does it have to be in a certain way? I'm the over controller is going to want to know the rules, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that putting things down on paper has just a more of a transformative experience. And so I do press that people have a journal, that they're writing down these thoughts so that they're not in the mind. It's amazing, when the monkey mind is really active, by putting it on paper, you're in essence letting the mind know, oh, you don't have to repeat that thing anymore because it's been written down. And so it can have a quieting sentiment. So I sometimes will tell people, take a piece of paper and draw an outline of a head. And go ahead and write these things down that inside the head that your mind is telling you repeatedly what's going to happen, or the worries, or the past, or whatever. And you just put it down, because then you can remind yourself, oh, I don't have to play this song again. It's written down if I want to revisit it.
Yeah.
So in crafting your flexible fantasy, the first question that I pose is, what does your mind say you have to have happen before you can enjoy sex? Such as the example is, the kitchen has to be clean before I can have sex. Or sex can only happen on weekends, so it must be a weekend before I have sex. Or I have to have an erection first before I have sex. So getting very clear on what your mind chatter is trying to convince you must exist relative to your thoughts, your partner's behavior, or your environment. In essence, really questioning those rules, right? The value of those rules. With the OCs in particular, doesn't like uncertainty, right? So they want to have certainty. They think, oh, if the dishes are clean, I will more certainly have an enjoyable sexual experience, right? But what that does, of course, is it limits your options. And ironically, what do a lot of OCs think would help them feel safer? Having options, right? Well, the option is, I can have the dishes clean, or I don't have to have the dishes clean. I can still have a good time.